Hi friends, Briggs Wallace here. This video is for you if you are having a hard time with a painful ending in your life. Have you gone through a relationship breakup or are grieving something or are having a lot of ruminating thoughts, telling stories about something that's not happening in this moment and has happened in the past? Well, I know that that's something that I have been through a lot, and I think, we all do because it's just human. And how do we address that? How do we address those ruminating thoughts that keep us in a situation that has ended much longer than we're actually there? Well, there's a theory called radical acceptance. And so what radical acceptance is, it's not condoning, it's not saying it was okay, it's not glossing over a horrible experience, but radical acceptance is this idea that it is what it is, and not honoring that a situation is what it is at this point by telling those stories to try to control the story or to try to control the feeling of rejection or trying to control the feeling of loss is creating our own suffering. So I know that I had a situation where I felt very rejected by someone that I loved. I felt betrayed by them. I felt like they should have stood up for me and they didn't. I felt like what they were offering me was a version of what I could and should have been offered. And I left what I considered to be a toxic situation, right? But then, even though I had left it, I still would wake up in the night arguing my story, saying, that shouldn't have happened to me. You shouldn't have betrayed me. I shouldn't have had to feel that kind of rejection. I shouldn't have had to feel that kind of loss, right? And that was a way of me trying to control something that was out of my control. Now that's really human too. We all do that, right? None of us want to go into the unknown where it could be scary and our fears could pop up because we don't know what's going to happen. And so we use ruminating thoughts to try to control things that we don't necessarily have control over. And as reasonable as it is, it also keeps us from accepting endings and accepting change and clinging to the suffering of that event. So when we can turn to a situation with radical acceptance, we can then say, okay, that is what it is. I'm no longer in relationship with this person because of the way they reacted to the situation. That's broken. And I may not be able to fix it. And accepting that there has been an ending is going to allow me to put down that story, which is creating a lot of suffering. That shows up in so many ways in our lives, right? And we often think that if we put down a story, if we stop telling it, then we're condoning it. Or we're saying, oh, that's okay. This is me forgiving it. We won't even forgive because we feel like it's condoning it. But really what's coming up is this fear of what would happen if we did put it down. What would happen in the unknown of that? What would happen if we moved into a new place where there was more opportunity for more good things to happen, right? That's what radical acceptance gives us. When we turn towards the present moment, where we stop fighting ourselves and the push and pull of things. This is how it is, but it shouldn't be that way. This is how it is, but it shouldn't be that way. Then we can just say, it is what it is. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to face the fear of letting it go. I'm going to let go of my need to be right about the situation, my need to overreach and control the situation that's not even happening right now. So they often say, pain is not a choice, but suffering is an option. Now, we can see how in these kinds of circumstances, our ruminating thoughts are creating more suffering than solutions. So radical acceptance is asking us to turn towards what hurt us. So for me, I turn towards the betrayal. I turn towards the hurt of the betrayal and say, how can I accept this? How can I offer this my acceptance? Because in reality, whether I accept it or not, guess what? It happened. I was betrayed and I was hurt. Whether I accept that or not is up to me. So we oftentimes have these big feelings, and they're so big that we try to push them away, right? We try to push them away with our ruminating thoughts. Sometimes we use food, drugs, alcohol, sex, anything to change the big sensation of that uncomfortability. But if instead of pushing it away or turning away and running from it, we offer it acceptance and bring it in closer and say, okay, what do I have to accept here? What can I accept here? It goes through us, and we allow the grief to move instead of being stuck. And when we allow grief to move, instead of pushing it away and keeping it stagnant where it is, when we allow it to move, then we are allowed to start healing. So what are your stories? Are they about something unfair that happened with your money? Something unfair that happened with a relationship? Something that you're grieving? Something that, all your feelings are legitimate. They're true to you, right? But what are the stories? What are the patterns of rumination that keep you stuck in the moment of the story instead of allowing you to be here and now, where you can accept that that did happen, but also be at peace with your past and offer yourself back the huge view of this present moment where things are possible. New things are possible, right? When there's a cloud overhead singing betrayal, singing loss, like there has been in my mind for a long time, that filters my whole view of this moment. So I'm choosing to look at the fear. I'm choosing to turn towards what hurts and accept it. Because guess what? I know the next moment is full of potential and it's going to be a good one. Not only for me, but also for you. Thanks for joining me on my journey. If you like this video, check out some of my other ones. Like, subscribe, or leave a comment below. I'd love to know more about your journey and what you're up to and where you are. If you're interested in coaching services, check out the link in the description and my website. Many blessings and much love.